For years, we've been told retirement is all about one number, $1 million, maybe $2 million, maybe even 3. But let me ask you something. Have you ever paid your electric bill with your net worth? Can you walk into the grocery store and tell the cashier, "Don't worry, my investment account is worth $1 million"? Of course not. Every single month, retirement comes down to one simple question. Do you have enough income coming in to cover the bills going out? Now, here's why this conversation matters. Americans are carrying nearly $19 trillion in household debt. That's mortgages, credit cards, auto loans, student loans, home equity lines of credit. Those balances don't magically disappear the day you retire. What disappears is the paycheck, and that's creating a retirement challenge that millions of Americans may not be prepared for. Today, I want to shift the way you think about retirement, because retirement isn't about reaching some magic number. It's about replacing your paycheck. So let's answer that question. Where does your retirement paycheck actually come from? For most people, it comes from one of 3 places. The first is guaranteed income. Things like Social Security, maybe a traditional pension if you're fortunate enough to have one. And for some people, certain insurance products are designed to provide guaranteed lifetime income. The important thing isn't the product itself. The important thing is that these income sources are generally designed to show up month after month, regardless of what's happening in the stock market. The second source is flexible income. This could be money you withdraw from your investment accounts. It could be rental income. Maybe it's part-time work, maybe consulting, maybe it's a business you've built over the years. These income sources can be incredibly valuable, but unlike guaranteed income, they often depend on things you can't completely control. Markets fluctuate, properties sit vacant, jobs come and go, business income rises and falls. Neither approach is inherently better. Most retirees actually end up using a combination of both. Now, here's the part that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Your retirement isn't determined by how much money comes in. It's determined by what happens after the bills get paid. Think about your monthly budget. Housing, healthcare, insurance, groceries, utilities, taxes. Maybe you're helping your kids. Maybe you're helping your grandkids. And for millions of Americans, debt payments. Every one of those expenses takes a bite out of your monthly income. What's left over is what gives you freedom. That's the money that lets you travel. Take the grandkids on vacation, spoil yourself once in a while, or simply sleep well at night knowing you don't have to worry every time the market has a bad week. So here's a simple way to think about retirement. Your dependable income plus your flexible income minus your essential monthly expenses equals your financial flexibility. That's it. Notice what's missing from that equation, your net worth. Now, don't misunderstand me. Building wealth absolutely matters. Saving and investing are incredibly important, but wealth by itself doesn't pay the bills. Cash flow does. Think about a business for a minute. A business can own millions of dollars worth of buildings and equipment. But if it can't generate enough cash every month to cover payroll and operating expenses, it's in trouble. The same idea applies in retirement. You might have a large investment portfolio, but if generating monthly income from that portfolio becomes difficult because markets are down or your expenses are higher than expected, retirement can become much more stressful than you imagined. And that's why asking, "How much money do I have?" that only tells part of the story. The better question is, how reliable is the income my money can produce? Because at the end of the day, retirement isn't lived on a balance sheet. It's lived one month at a time. History doesn't repeat perfectly, but it often rhymes. If you went back 30 or 40 years and asked someone what retirement looked like, the answer would probably sound very different than it does today. Many workers expected to retire with a pension. That pension would provide a monthly check for life. Social Security was another piece of the puzzle. Many people had paid off their homes before retirement. Consumer debt was generally lower. Life was simpler. Now, that doesn't mean retirement was easy, but the responsibility for generating income didn't fall entirely on the individual. Today, the landscape looks completely different. Pensions have become far less common. Instead, most workers are responsible for funding their own retirement through 401ks. IRAs, brokerage accounts, and other personal savings. At the same time, Americans are living longer. Healthcare costs continue to rise. And many people enter retirement still carrying a mortgage, a home equity loan, car payments, or other forms of debt. In other words, the responsibility has shifted. Instead of asking your employer, like, what will my pension be? You're asking yourself, how do I turn everything I've saved into a paycheck that could last for decades? That's a completely different challenge. Now let's look at two hypothetical retirees. Retiree number one has done an incredible job saving. They've accumulated a larger investment portfolio than most people ever will, but they still have a mortgage. They've got a couple of vehicle payments. Most of their retirement income comes from withdrawing money from their investments. Now let's meet retiree number two. They actually have a smaller investment portfolio, but they receive Social Security. They have a traditional pension. Maybe they also have another source of dependable lifetime income. Their home is mostly paid off. They have very little monthly debt. So here's the question. Which retiree is better prepared? Most people immediately point to the larger investment account. And on the surface, that makes sense. After all, more money should solve more problems, right? Well, not necessarily. Imagine both retirees wake up tomorrow morning and the stock market drops 20%. The retiree who depends heavily on investment withdrawals may suddenly face a difficult decision. Do they continue withdrawing money from a portfolio that's temporarily worth less? Do they reduce spending? Do they delay plans they've been looking forward to for years? The second retiree sees the headlines too. They know the market is down, but their monthly income continues to arrive. The bills still get paid. Life goes on. Does that mean one person is right and the other is wrong? Not at all. Every retirement is different. Health matters. Lifestyle matters. Family responsibilities matter. Risk tolerance matters. And every person's financial picture is unique. But here's the lesson. A larger portfolio doesn't automatically create a better retirement. Just like a smaller portfolio doesn't automatically create a worse one. What often matters more than people realize is how dependable your monthly income is and how well it lines up with your monthly expenses. Because when your income consistently covers your essential costs, you gain something that's hard to measure on a balance sheet: confidence. And that's something every retiree is looking for. Here's what most people missed. When financial headlines talk about retirement, they almost always focus on one thing. How much have you saved? What's your net worth? How big is your 401k? And while those are important questions, they aren't the questions you'll actually be asking once you retire. The question you'll ask every single month is much simpler. Can I comfortably pay my bills? Think about that for a second. Let's say two people each have $1 million. On paper, they're exactly the same, but one of them has dependable monthly income covering most of their essential expenses. The other depends almost entirely on selling investments to generate cash. Those two retirements can feel completely different, not because one person is wealthier, but because one person has more certainty. And certainty has value. Imagine turning on the news and seeing the market down 5%. If your grocery money depends on selling investments that week, those headlines probably feel a lot different than if your monthly income is already scheduled to arrive. The market will always move. Some years it goes up, some years it goes down. That's normal. Markets have always gone through cycles. The challenge isn't volatility itself. The challenge is needing your investments to produce income during periods when values are temporarily lower. That's one reason financial professionals often talk about cash flow and income planning, not just portfolio size. It's not because one approach guarantees success. Nothing does. It's because retirement is about creating a financial life that's sustainable over time. And sustainability isn't exciting. It doesn't make flashy headlines, but it's what allows people to stay retired. Now, here's another way to think about it. When you're working, your paycheck acts like a shock absorber. If the stock market drops, you still get paid. If inflation goes up, your paycheck still arrives. If your investments have a rough year, you still have employment income. Retirement removes that shock absorber. Now your savings and your income plan have to do the job your employer's paycheck used to do. That's a major transition, and it's one that deserves a lot more attention than simply chasing a retirement number. Because at the end of the day, retirement isn't a math problem. It's a lifestyle. It's waking up every morning knowing your essential expenses are covered. It's having the confidence to spend time with your family instead of constantly worrying about the next market headline. It's having the flexibility to enjoy the life you've spent decades building. That's what people are really trying to achieve. Not the biggest statement, not the biggest portfolio, peace of mind. And sometimes those are two very different things. Now, before we wrap this up, let's talk about what's coming in the weeks and months ahead. There are a few economic trends that every retiree, and frankly, anyone planning for retirement, should be paying attention to. The first is inflation. Now, inflation has cooled from the highs we saw a couple of years ago, but that doesn't mean prices have gone back to where they were. Think about that. If inflation slows from 9% to 3%, prices are still rising. They're just rising more slowly. That means the cost of groceries, insurance, healthcare, and everyday necessities can continue to climb over time. And that's something every retirement income plan has to account for. The second is interest rates. For the past several years, interest rates have moved dramatically as the Federal Reserve has worked to bring inflation under control. Higher rates affect just about everything. Mortgage costs, auto loans, credit card interest, business borrowing, even the returns available on certain savings vehicles. Whether rates move higher, lower, or stay where they are, they'll continue to influence the financial decisions families make every single day. Another area worth watching is Social Security. Every year, there are updates to benefits, cost of living adjustments, and ongoing discussions about the program's long-term finances. If Social Security is going to be part of your retirement income, and for millions of Americans it is, those updates matter. Healthcare costs are another major factor. People are living longer than ever before. That's wonderful news. But it also means retirement may last 20, 30, or even 40 years. Planning for a longer retirement isn't about expecting the worst. It's about recognizing that a longer life requires your income to last longer too. And finally, keep an eye on household debt across America. Consumer debt, mortgage balances, and borrowing trends can tell us a lot about the financial health of American families. When debt rises faster than income for long periods of time, it can put additional pressure on household budgets. Again, that's not meant to be alarming. It's simply something worth understanding because these are the economic forces that shape the world we all live in. So here's the takeaway I hope you remember. For decades, we've been taught to think about retirement as a finish line. Reach a certain number, build the biggest portfolio you can, and everything else will take care of itself. But maybe it's time to ask a different question. Instead of asking, how much money do I need to retire? Ask, how will I replace my paycheck? Because retirement isn't measured by the size of your account. It's measured by your ability to comfortably live the life you've worked so hard to build. When dependable income covers your essential expenses, you create flexibility, you reduce stress, and you give yourself more choices. That's what real financial confidence is all about. What's your take on all of this? I'd genuinely be interested to hear your perspective, so down in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. And if you found this episode helpful, make sure you like this video and also subscribe to this channel. Every single week, we break down current economic events, market trends, and historical patterns to help you make more informed financial decisions during uncertain times. Thanks again for joining me on this episode of Straight Talk. And with that being said, I'll see you next week.